Hi friends, today we are going to review our rounding and our adding and subtracting. So we're going to go ahead and turn our paper sideways just so we can use our place value chart. And our first one, let's go ahead and go over the rounding. So when you're rounding, you're still going to use your place value chart. So we're going to go ahead and make that up. So we've got our thousands, our 10,000s, our 100,000s. Okay, and so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, right here, we're going to round to the nearest 100. Okay, so right here on this one, we're going to round to the nearest 100. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my little star right here because that's where I'm going to round to. No matter what number I'm going to put in here, that's where I'm going to round to. So our number is 583, 672. So I know that I'm going to underline this. I'm going to look next door, and remember it's 5 or more, raise the score, 4 or less, let it rest. And so, also our other one is if you want to do your little mountain, and you have your 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that means it's going to get higher, and the 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, that means you're going to let it rest. So this is raise the score, and this is let it rest. If you need to draw your helper, please draw your helper. Okay, so we look next door. It's a 7, so that means we've got to raise it. So that means the 6 is raised to a 7. Look to the right, 0's in sight, but don't forget to bring all of this down. All of this has to come down too. And that's what we saw a lot of our friends do. You rounded it to 700, but you forgot the rest of the number. You've got to, if anything in front of the number, you've got to bring right down. So let's go ahead and do another one. We're still rounding to the nearest 100, but this time our number is 37,224. I do the same thing, still the hundreds. I'm going to draw my arrow, and actually what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to bring down the numbers that don't change. I know that's not going to change, so I'm just looking at these. I also know this is the number that's only going to change, so I'm going to go ahead and put some zeros right here. So I've got to decide if I'm going to let it rest, or if I'm going to raise the score. So right here, I look next door, it's a 2, that's let it rest. So that means I keep it as a 2. So my answer, rounded to the nearest 100, is 37,200. Now let's try one where we're going to round. We're going to round to nearest 1,000. Make your place value chart. 10,000s, 100,000s. I'm going to go ahead and put a star that I know that these numbers are going to go to my thousands, and we're actually going to use the same numbers here. We're going to use the same numbers, so it's 583,672, but this time I'm going to round it to my thousands. So same thing, so I'm going to draw my arrow. Everything before the 3 stays the same. I need to decide if my 3 is going to raise up or let it rest. I look next door. 5 or more, raise the score. So it's bigger than 5. So that means the 3 changes to a 4. And look to the right, 0's in sight. So the same number, but this one is rounded to the thousands, and this is rounded to the hundreds. So let's go ahead and let's do our other number that we did, the 37,224. But this time we're rounding to the nearest 1,000. We draw our arrow, I'm going to bring down my 3 because everything before stays the same. 7, I need to decide if it's going to raise up or let it rest. I look to the right. Nope, I look next door. It's 2. So 4 or less, let it rest. So it's less than 4. So I need to let it rest. So that means we leave it alone. And then the rest of it changes to zeros. So here's the number rounded to the nearest 1,000. And here's the same number rounded to the nearest 100. So and putting the star might help you. Remember, and please don't forget to put the numbers in front that don't change. Now the next thing that we're going to review is our adding and subtracting with regrouping. Remember, I still want you to make those place value charts. 10,000, 100,000. When we ask you to show your work, this is what we want to see. So we are going to add first. So we're going to do 37,591 plus 10,936. Okay, we start with our ones. 6 plus 1 is 7. We do not need to regroup. 9 plus 3 is 12. We do need to regroup. So we have our 2 here, and we carry or regroup our 1 up here. 9 plus 5 is 14, plus 1 more is 15. So I put my 5, and I still carry my 1 next door. 7 plus 0 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. And 3, there's no regrouping here. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. So that's our addition. And now let's make another one and let's practice our subtraction. This is the one that gets us a little bit. 10,000, 100,000. Okay. So our numbers on this one . Alright, I'll stick with blue here. Sorry, I was trying to pick out my color that I wanted. So our number here is 19,431 minus 7,620. Okay, ask yourself, if I have 1, can I take away 0? Yes, it's 0, it's still 1. If I have 3, can I take away 2? Yes, I can. It's 1. Now if I have 4, can I take away 6? Nope, this is when we have to regroup. So that means we're going to break apart our 1,000. So now we only have 8, and now we have 14 hundredths. Because we just broke it into 10 hundredths, and now we change our 4 to 14. So 14 minus 6 is 8. And if I have 8, can I take away 7? Yes. And then 1 take away nothing is still 1. So this is going to be our tricky part right here. So make sure that when you're regrouping, you change it. And we don't have to type it into a chart. So you're able just to cross it out on your paper for our assessment. So we're practicing rounding. You're going to need to be able to round to the nearest 100, 1,000, and 10,000. Now 10,000 is the same as all the other ones. The only difference is when we do our chart, our 10,000 is where we're going to have our star. That is the only difference. And then down here you're going to have 3 of these to do, and then you're going to have 2 of these to do on your assessment. So really make sure that you know which tool that you want to use, which helps you, either the poem or the picture that will help you with this one. We'll do a few more of these in class tomorrow.